Did you guys watch the Oscars?
No, of course.
Of course not. Nobody watches
I watched
the Oscars.
clips of the Oscars.
We watched the after effect of the Oscars and the
Yeah.
slap heard round the world. So I guess we gotta talk about this. Bangkok! I got a question for you. Tell me any situation
Where that's okay.
where somebody can walk up on stage, smack somebody in the face, walk down, sit back down, spend another hour watching the rest of the show, and then get the #1 award of the evening. And nothing was said or done.
WWE.
Like,
Well, this is the only event where that could happen.
and not only that, I don't think it would have happened to other actors.
No.
If this was
They'd have had
Mel
security.
Gibson.
They would have had security on anyone else so
Yeah,
quickly.
if this was Mel Gibson who walked up there, who has a history, right, of some outlandish things, and went up and did that, he would have been escorted out of the building immediately.
Well, okay. Well, if we're gonna bring that dynamic into it, what would have happened if Russell Crowe went up and slapped him?
Exactly, that's what I mean. Any
Like,
kind
nobody with a history. Just
no. But Russell Crowe has been known as a tough person to work with. He does have a history of that, just like Christian Bale. He has a history of that. Will Smith is known as that nice guy.
Okay, but wait. First, we have to say whether we think it was real or staged.
Oh, it wasn't staged.
What makes you think that?
The reaction of Chris Rock to begin with, it wasn't just a little slap. It was a big slap from a big guy. And you saw he didn't know what to say. He kept looking to the side of the stage as,
Like, you're all just going to let this happen?
like and to Chris Rock's credit, he continued on. He even made light of it. And,
His voice was a little shaky afterwards. I'll admit that.
it was not staged.
People are showing this still frame of the after, right after the slap, where it looks like Will Smith is like laughing, like he's in on something.
No, I never saw that.
And the way Chris Rock was standing when Will Smith went up, it was like he was leaning into it. He was prepared for something.
Well, here's the reason I don't think it was staged. We see quite clearly when the joke was given, and it was a G.I. Jane joke. She has shaved hair. He said, "I can't wait to see you in G.I. Jane" joke. It was a "you're bald" joke right now that you shave your head. And he referenced a movie where a woman shaves her head.
So apparently he didn't know she had alopecia.
And even if he did, he's a comedian.
Apparently, there's some controversy out there that does she even have it? Because the people that do have it, they're like, well, she has an awful lot of stubble to be and eyebrows.
That's not here. It
Right?
doesn't really matter.
But it kind of does.
No, because the comedian is allowed to say a joke. And if you're sensitive to the situation, I don't care. I've been made
It's true.
fun of.
How often? How can you
So-
go sit in the front row at Yuck Yucks and have the comedian make
Yeah.
fun of your date? And when is it okay for you to stand
Well,
up and slap the comedian?
Here's some examples. Because during the performance, he said that about her. Oh, he crossed a line. You know, you don't comment on people's looks. Well, Amy Schumer did a joke on one JJ from Spider-Man, Head of the Bugle.
Okay, yeah,
They
yeah.
made a comment saying, "Oh, it's been really, pandemic's been really rough on COVID's been really rough on everybody." And she goes, "Yeah, look at him." In other words, he looks so horrible because of the pandemic.
Now,
Like,
did his wife stand up and go and slap her?
Exactly. Like I'm saying, like they made personal jokes on other people.
Well, remember when we were sitting in the front of Yuck Yucks, what they said about us?
The cousin festival.
Yeah. So you take this is what humor is. But you saw very clearly when the joke was said, Will Smith laughing at the joke.
But because he didn't get it?
Well, no, he actually, his head moves like it wasn't just,
He knew he was the butt of the joke, was laughing along. But you know how people are laughing when they don't even get the joke? Is that what happened? And then when he looked at his
And then
wife
it sunk in.
and said, "Oh, wait a second."
Or did he think it was funny and then looked at his wife and said, "Crap, that's going to be a rough ride home," because saw laughing at the joke. I got to do something, because you know the history with the Smiths. She's come out in a documentary, and they've come out of her saying how she cheated on him with all these men, and
Not cheated. They have an open relationship.
they have an open, and it seems to be more one-sided than
that's
his
their
side.
own. That's their own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But people have always said that he's kind of he's whipped kind of thing, right? She controls the marriage, and he'll do anything kind of thing. That set aside, you never are allowed to go and physically attack somebody for a word.
No, backstory. Like, this is the second year in a row that Chris Rock has made a joke about her.
No, I think that was 2016 when he said they were boycotting the Olympics, boycotting, and he made the joke saying, "Why is she so upset? She wasn't invited." And big deal. Yeah, is that you're still not allowed to go up and hit somebody in the face?
True.
Period.
Okay, but-
Period.
He did preference the joke. Like, before the joke, he said, "Jada, I love you.
Can't wait to see you in G.I. Jane 2.
G.I. Jane 2,
That was
can't wait
like
to see
the
it."
mildest joke out
Not
there.
a good. Okay, so here's the thing. Was that a good joke? No.
It was just kind of like a throwaway.
Yeah, it was a real big throwaway.
It was off the cuff.
It was kind of like a comedian is doing his bit. He notices somebody off stage and makes
a
a
comment.
funny comment.
That's all
and
it
then
was.
Continues, right?
Yeah, and he was starting to continue.
But here's
yeah.
the crime. Here's the crime. Okay. Why was he not immediately arrested?
Or at least escorted out of the building. Like, why was he allowed to continue?
This was an assault caught
Yes.
on camera with 100,000 different witnesses. Why did the police not arrest him on the spot?
Intervene right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And, Chris Rock has since come out and said he's not going to press charges. So the police
But
can't.
I don't think it should be up to him.
But
It
regardless,
is.
Press charges.
Assault charges are if that person says.
if a
they
man
wanna
goes
start-
up on stage and grabs a woman inappropriately, okay, that's an assault.
Yes.
Will the police arrest that person?
Not unless she presses charges.
I don't think so. That's a crime.
I think someone would be up there immediately taking care of that situation.
Well, here's the situation. You got a bunch of stars, and they were caught off guard. Did you see, the poor woman behind Will Smith when he was yelling up on stage? Like, no one knew what to do. This is no one knew.
but-
At first, everyone was like us. Was it staged? Is this a bit? And then when it started to dawn on people that it wasn't.
But the police know what to do. When a crime...
no matter what, the security
if the
should have
police-
escorted him out.
If the police are standing outside a bar and there's a lineup of patrons ready to go in the bar and someone clocks another person, that person has cuffs on them immediately.
Yeah,
Yes.
but they'll be
because they are a threat.
they'll be detained, but will they be charged?
Doesn't matter.
Who knows?
Doesn't matter.
What are the police for? In Canada, we know what the police are for. They're to abuse the truckers. But what are your police for?
Well, I think we are all under the basic same thought of mine. First of all, should never have done it. Period. Hitting somebody is never a good answer. And do you guys know that Will Smith was offered Django Unchained, the role for Django Unchained? A very violent revenge story.
Yeah, he didn't take it, I think, because it was too violent.
It was because it was a revenge story. It should have ended with because of love. He said, "Well, I got to spread more love in the world because at no point is violence the answer."
Well, yeah.
And he actually says that in his interviews. No point is violence the answer,
What?
unless you made a joke about my wife, and my wife's going to be mad at me, and I got to go up and hit him.
I think the biggest thing that's not being talked about, though, is that he did this big slap, and then went on to his speech, and I don't know, kind of tone deaf, because started talking about, love.
Love, and that a lot of people have now commented saying, that really didn't sit right. You just smack somebody in the face, and then you're talking about spreading love.
Because he thought he was in the right. I'm sure all night long he thought he was in the right. He was a hero because he stood up, he protected his wife. And then when he saw all the negative publicity that it generated, he said, whoa, I got to get ahead of this and put out my apology to Chris Rock.
Although they do have...
But I don't think has he done an apology to Chris Rock
Yeah,
now?
he did.
finally
And so did Chris Rock. Chris
Finally.
Rock put out an apology.
Yeah, you were
saying,
Chris-
"I'm sorry for telling that joke." Basically,
Chris, you should never have apologized.
No.
Because you did your job. Your job is to do jokes at a show. Was it a tasteful joke? Maybe not. Who cares? It was a joke. And Will Smith went too far. And I like I watch his YouTube channel. I like Will Smith. He's a nice guy. I've watched plenty of interviews with him.
I like Will Smith's persona. None of us know how he really is. I like what he lets us see, and I like the person that he
And but that's
pretends
all
to
you
be.
can go by.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's getting harder and harder to separate the actor from the characters, because now I'm thinking every time I see Will Smith in a movie, I'm going to say, I don't agree with what he did on stage there.
Yeah. Oh, now he's crossed a line. But that, people look at Mel Gibson different because of his rant that he did on the phone in that time, when the drunken rant that
But
he did.
I could do it once, twice, but when it happens over and over and over again, I'm thinking,
But what has he done in the past?
no, but I forgave Mel Gibson.
Okay.
I forgave other people.
Oh, you're talking stars in general, not
Yes.
Will Smith.
Yes,
Okay.
but when a guy gets up at the movie show of the year
Where he's about to win an award, and everyone in the building knew he was going to win that award.
and he clocks somebody who made a G.I. Jane joke,
Yeah.
that
And here's, there are a lot of people in the black community are really upset because there's two reasons, and a lot of people didn't even realize this. So we have a black man on live television smacking another black man for telling a joke while he was trying to introduce the documentary on racism and black in the winner of that award.
King Richard.
And now it all became part of him.
Yeah.
He was now the story instead of that award.
And he had to include that in his apology. He apologized to the filmmakers and to the Williams
Yeah,
family.
except he did not apologize at the time to Chris Rock. The person he actually hit in the face.
No,
and
so there was failure. Will Smith was a failure. The Oscars
Is a
were
complete failure.
The police were a failure.
yeah, security period was a failure.
The people who gave Will Smith a standing ovation when he got the award, failure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was all pretty tone deaf.
It, I don't know. I will now look at Will Smith in completely different eyes.
So the Oscars remained relevant for another year. Of course, it's completely the wrong way.
Yeah.
Nobody's interested in the Oscars. Every year it keeps on going down. I think it was a 50% drop from
Maybe
last
though,
year.
maybe if things like this keep happening, people start tuning back
But-
into the Oscars.
But are the Oscars going to be a serious award show, or is it going to be a reality show?
Get Geraldo to host next year's.
No, you know what I
Oscars.
want? I want The Rock to be up on stage and say the exact same joke.
Yeah, you come on up here.
And let's see what happens with love and protecting my family then. Instead of this skinny little Chris Rock, 60-some-year-old comedian. It's a shame because I love Will Smith as an actor. I want to see his movies, and this has dropped him down in my respect level for Chris Rock. And as far as the Oscars are concerned, I have had no respect for the Oscars for years now. There's our comments. What do you guys think? Did anybody handle this correctly? I don't think so. Let us know in those comments, and there's going to be a lot.